necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing great out there. Happy Friday. Yes, we made it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Obviously, the America First Network and my YouTube page, which is at PTL Radio Show, pushingthelimits.live, the FMAM Dial KSHP. We appreciate you being a part of what we are doing. Robbie Roadsteamer is going to be joining us here in just a few minutes. And then we also have, at the bottom of the hour, the UNF America Tour. They're a national campaign directly confronting Turning Point USA. Some of those organizers are going to be joining us in studio coming up at the bottom of the hour, but we got some pretty big news for you. This just came through here in the last hour in regards to the Jeffrey Epstein files and Donald Trump. And listen, I've been telling you since day one, I believe Donald Trump is all over these Epstein files, but coming to fruition, maybe, according to Senator Richard Durbin's office, obtaining information that the Trump administration ordered all Epstein records that were mentioned in with Donald Trump's name involved in it to be flagged. This is big time stuff now. And this is according to Richard Durbin's office, who said, according to information my office received, the FBI was pressured to put approximately 1,000 personnel in its information management division on 24-hour shifts to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records in order to produce more documents that could then be released on an arbitrarily short deadline. This effort, which reportedly took place from March 14th through the end of March, was supplemented by hundreds of FBI New York field office personnel, many of whom lacked the expertise to identify protected information regarding child victims and child witnesses or properly handle FOIA requests. This is probably the biggest sentence in this statement. My office was told that these personnel were instructed to flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why Phase 2 was never released, and Donald Trump has called it a hoax. This is a massive cover-up. I've been saying that for the last few weeks now. This is a massive cover-up. Donald Trump is all over these files. It's why he doesn't want to release them. It's why they're going to just release certain information. And now we're learning that members of the FBI were instructed and pressured to flag any records in which President Donald Trump was mentioned. I mean, give me a break. And this isn't a surprise. This shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, as the Wall Street Journal is now reporting this birthday letter that Donald Trump sent to Jeffrey Epstein with a drawing of a naked picture. Donald Trump also making statements in the pack that Epstein likes women just as much as he does. Epstein likes them really young. The fact that at one point that they were best friends. I mean, you'd have to be extremely complicit and not living in reality to believe that Donald Trump is not in these files. This is a massive cover-up. And now certain members of the MAGA movement, like the Steve Bannons of the world, are coming together because they believe the Wall Street Journal is just lying. They're just making this up. By the way, the Wall Street Journal is not some liberal publication either. And Rupert Murdoch, are you kidding me? What, he's gone woke now? So that's completely ridiculous, completely absurd. And as every single day that goes by, it seems like they're doing more and more to cover this thing up. So we've been hearing for years. This was the Hollywood elites, the pedophiles in Hollywood, all the Democrats, all the liberals. But I can tell you this story is not going away, and we will continue to cover it today. So I did mention to you all that there's a guy on social media, on YouTube, that I certainly am a big fan of, as I'm a fan of anybody who pranks the MAGA morons. So this guy's name is Robbie Roadsteamer, and he's done this show before. He did this show a few weeks ago, and he dresses up as Gary, the Guantanamo Gator. And we were the show, the first one that he told us that he was going to do this. He dresses up as Gary the Guantanamo Gator. And I said, you know what? We're on a Friday. Let's have a little bit of fun here. And he shows up at this Turning Point USA event dressed up as Gary the Guantanamo Gator. Just have a watch of this because it's absolutely hilarious.
Hell yeah, Gary the Guantanamo Gator. Hell yeah. MAGA men, there's no need to feel down. I say, MAGA men, pick yourself off the ground. I say, MAGA men, because you're in a good town. There's no need to be unhappy. Trump was on the Jeffrey Epstein plane. Epstein plane, hey. He was chasing around young girls, putting ketchup on his ear. And it was so pumpy. Here, Trump was.
And there were moments there where, like, there were some people that were body checking him wearing MAGA hats. Extremely hilarious stuff. That guy, the legend and prankster himself, Robbie Roadsteamer, is joining us right now on the show. Mr. Roadsteamer, it is good to see you as always, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Brian, I'm alive. I'm back from Tampa. I'm in one piece. The alligator costume smells like the turkey dinner at the Knights of Columbus, but otherwise, I'm fine.
Good to see you. So there's a moment in this video where this weird MAGA dude, he looks like he's around 25, 30 years old, wearing this weird, like, army getup, backpack, or whatever you would call it, and he's following you, and he looks so angry and triggered by you. Tell me what happened there.
Yeah, basically when I first showed up at the Tampa Convention Center for Charlie Kirk's Turning Point, I was leading a couple of the other social influencers. I was there with a gang of influencers under the tour Kirk America, but it's the F word. Right. And, we're trying to America. And, I noticed this guy coming up, a little boy, looked like Timmy from Lassie. He came up and he had like a little starter ice kit. He had like a little Desert Storm camo backpack that he was wearing on the front. He had some sort of Kevlar underneath his T-shirt. And as soon as he saw me, I was singing Tom Petty at the beginning. I want to get high with MAGA friends and talk about stop hating the trans. He was all up in me and stuff, and he was bullying me. We were being followed by the Anderson Cooper's CNN crew. We had Dougie O'Sullivan, a bunch of people from CNN with us. And, they were filming this dude. And I really believe the guy was a paid provocateur on the MAGA side, because there's another video. You can see it on my Twitter when you watch these videos that I put up. And he apparently goes up to the there was a counter protest later on. They always do this. It's very adorable. A bunch of the, counter protesters in Tampa will all get together, and they do this in every city. They get together, whether it's the 50-50 people, and they get like 5 to 1,000 of them, and they walk on the other side of the street from the actual Trump rally. Like, we're all looking at them like it's a Monty Python skit. Why do they always do this? They stand on the other side. They say the same damn 5 chants. This is what democracy looks like. And they scream at each other, and then they go to a park and take selfies of their poster boards. And, I'm looking at them and stuff, and I'm like, hey, we should join them. And little, did I know that guy was over there again, our paid provocateur. He starts bumping me again. I get a 2 million view video out of him singing YMCA. Trump flew on the Jeffrey Epstein plane. And then after I left, you can see this video on my Twitter. He starts yelling and pushing other people that are part of the main protest at one point. And my God, Brian, this sounds like a Spinal Tap here. The guy went up and he's pointing to a guy with Palestine colors on his scarf. And he yells, "Stop wearing those colors. My brother died there, man." And then the other guy wearing the colors, he's like, "We never went to war with Palestine. What are you talking about? You're thinking of Iraq, Afghanistan." And it's funny to watch this in real time. Like this paid provocateur, he is just doing it to try to trigger anybody. Well, he ends up pushing these people. They, I guess, push back. You see the video, they're on the ground. He gets up and then he starts to look like he's pretending to reach into his vest for a gun. And you can hear people yelling gun. And he's also pretending, you can see him smiling 1 second, and then all of a sudden be like, oh my God, don't hurt me. Oh my God. And then 1 second later, he's back to yelling at people. So I get the feeling that this little guy, and his name's Ben, we have a video, we identified him. We're going to put it up on my page next week. But I have a feeling that this guy was a paid provocateur. He saw me first. He thought I was the whole counterculture protest, so he started with me. He literally hit me like 20 times. And then when he saw the other parade, he realized that's what he was being paid to infiltrate and disrupt, and he went over there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I saw these videos. It's really crazy how you trigger some of these people, and I'm just laughing at everything. I did notice, though, there were some MAGA people there with flags and stuff that seemed to be dancing to your music and kind of smiling and just having fun with it, right? So they weren't all angry at you.
No, and I'm not angry at them. And I told these people at the UNF America Tour that we're not just going to win by defeating everybody at debates. We're going to win by working together as the common working class. I mean, I went up to a bunch of MAGA and I'm like, dude, we might not agree on trans and immigrants, which is the only thing Fox News has you guys dog whistled to listen to. But can we agree, maybe, possibly, quite likely, maybe we can have a $2 extra minimum wage. Maybe we can move up from $7.25. And hey, these guys, maybe they're not agreeing with 15, but how about 9? How about 10? Let's
agree
with that.
Completely agree with you there. Now it's turning into, your song from Trump was on the Epstein plane to it appears as though Trump is on the Epstein list. Is there any chance you're going to change your lyrics there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should have used list all along, but Epstein plane rhymes with YMCA.
That's
and
true.
We do know that Trump was on the at the very least, the Epstein plane several times,
yes,
as Ghislaine's trial showed. So I think those lyrics are pretty true still.
They are.
Maybe not exactly he was on Epstein Island, but
right.
he was damn, well on the Epstein plane. So I'll keep that. But, Brian, to get inside the actor's studio here, plane rhymes with YMCA.
Right.
So it's a rhyming scheme, Trump went on the Jeffrey Epstein list.
Yeah, doesn't sound right. You're the professional here. That's why I do radio and you do what you do. I agree with you there. All right. So I know it's a little early because you just came back from this event last week, but can you share with us any plans you have down the road in the future?
Oh, absolutely. The folks from the UNF America Tour were all excited at how well it turned out. And, a large part of it was, I think, a culture adjustment. We don't have to just go in there and debate the living crap out of everybody and win. We're trying to recruit MAGA. And so I'll be joining the UNF America Tour all fall when they hit college campuses all across America. So wherever Charlie Kirk Turning Point's going to be, you're going to see Gary the Guantanamo Gator, Robbie Roadsteamer right behind him singing the hits.
I love that. I love it. What would you say to Charlie Kirk if you had the opportunity to speak with him? What would you say to him?
I would say, it's been a long time since I've seen the Epstein list. Oh, boy, I kick off my shoes, and I want to see the Epstein list. Let me see the list. Let me see the list. Well, in truth, I also got Charlie Kirk and Russell Brand. I went right into the main hall, and Charlie Kirk, I didn't want to stay there too long. I told my camera girl, I'm like, get ready because I'm leaving in the first minute. And there was nobody in the hall either. If you watch my video from YouTube, when I stormed Charlie Kirk as an alligator, there's like 60 people there for the podcast. Terrible numbers. It was like the Emperor's New Clothes, Brian. The whole hall was empty. Outside of the Tampa Convention Hall, you can see on my videos, nobody's attending. It's the Emperor's New Clothes. So if I had Charlie Kirk right before me, I'd say what I said when I was right before him 3 to 4 days ago. Why won't you debate me in a steel cage at SummerSlam?
Does he make eye contact with you at all?
Yeah. No, I got the whole video. It's up on my page now. It's up on my Twitter. I got his HD version of his podcast. No, he not only makes eye contact, he talks to me. He does everything. I just put that up yesterday. I only had my isolated footage last weekend, so I put that up in an immediacy, and it was kind of far to see Charlie. But this one, not only is he talking to me, he's trying to play it cool for the cameras. I'm like, I'm Gary the Guantanamo Gator. And on his end, he's like, okay, thank you. Very nice.
What do you make of all these people that are Turning Point members, for lack of a better term, and that are big Charlie Kirk followers? By the way, Charlie Kirk says, I trust the government now. I don't want to talk about the Epstein files. And then 2 days later, he changes his mind again. Like, what do you make of these followers, too, the followers of Charlie Kirk?
I just feel bad because they're dealing with an insane cult leader to the degree of Jim Jones, Jonestown Massacre, and Pumpkin Spice Satan Donald Trump. I mean, these people, they're going down with the ship. So if Trump says on Monday that Bill Clinton created the Epstein list along with Steve Jobs, then poor Charlie Kirk by Monday has to agree with this. He has to go down with the ship. And you can see a lot of them just realize what a crock it is now. And they can't do anything. They still have to, the Tupac hologram and Bill Clinton created the Epstein list together. Yeah. It's like no matter what Trump says, they have to go down on that ship or risk, if they're a congressperson, risk having a MAGA person run against them in the next election cycle. Or for Charlie Kirk right now is desperate to take over from Tucker Carlson. Right. He knows that Tucker has seen the light and is realizing what a cult he's been in. And now Charlie Kirk is like, well, maybe I can be the next Tucker Carlson. Yeah. But not when you're bringing 50 people to a podcast, bro, at the Tampa Convention Center. That was miserable.
That's true. It looked like a pretty bad turnout for Turning Point. But I have a request for you. So as you know, Lee Greenwood, teamed up with Donald Trump selling these Trump Bibles and the one-hit wonder, proud to be an American. Do you think at some point there's any chance you can take that song and maybe put your own lyrics in there?
Oh, yeah. Look up. I did Donald Trump. I actually got 4 million for Lee Greenwood on Instagram because I'm like, well, I'm proud I support a felon. For at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget when we caused the insurrection to give that right to me. And I'll surely stand up to pumps for Trump and protect him with my balls. There ain't no doubt I love this country.
Oh my God, that's great. I got to go back and I got to watch that video. Oh my God, that is so awesome, Robbie. All right, so I know you said you're going to be doing some of these events with the UNF America Tour, so I'm certainly looking forward to that, Robbie. Can you give out some of the information on how people can obviously follow your stuff on X and YouTube, because your stuff is absolutely gold. It's hilarious. And at this time, we need to laugh a little bit, and you're very funny, but you're also on the right side of history. How can people find your stuff on socials?
For sure. And Brian, I'll just say this, that I told this to the UNF America and MAGA. We're going to win because we're going to romanticize this scene, brother. We're going to make the new Haight-Ashbury, Hunter S. Thompson. And that's what I told. We're not going to win by beating debates. We're going to win by getting high with MAGA, partying with MAGA, and infiltrating. You can find me at Roadsteamer on Instagram, like road you drive on carpet steamer, just one word. Roadsteamer on TikTok, Robbie Roadsteamer YouTube, Robbie Roadsteamer Facebook, Robbie Roadsteamer Twitter. Just even type it into Google. And, I got hundreds of songs, hundreds of videos where I'm singing nothing but the hits. I hope that I'm the new Woody Guthrie Weird Al for the counterculture voice generation. I'd like to get on one of these night shows and sing my songs like the
I want to get you on Piers Morgan. I want to be on a panel with Robbie Roadsteamer on the Piers Morgan show, debating like Roger Stone and Clay Travis. However, I will say this, Robbie, one of my favorite tunes of yours happens to be a song, I Put a Baby in You. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my personal favorites.
In an alternate universe, I did tour Warped Tour. Corey Taylor from Slipknot covered the song. You can type in Corey Taylor, I Put a Baby in You on YouTube. But yeah, I was playing like this shock jock, reckless guy that always was the Pied Piper for bringing in 18 to 35-year-old white male Republicans. They've always loved me. I had songs like I Put a Baby in You, Somebody Put a Condom on My Dreams, and Now I Can't Feel a Single Thing. You know, I'm a hit machine, baby. We got to party together in Vegas. You know, we got to make the myths.
You got to get out here in Vegas. When the UNF America Tour comes to Vegas, and I know I actually have some of their organizers that are coming up right after you. I know they're going to be doing some events in Vegas. We got to meet. We got to get out there, and I got to start singing some songs with you, brother, because you are hilarious, and I can't wait to do that. Good luck. Can't wait till your next MAGA prank. You're the best, and I know a lot of people that listen to my show are big fans of yours. So thank you, Robbie, for coming on. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend. Have a good weekend.
Hell yeah. Much love, brother. I love you. I broke this alligator routine with you first, man. You're the king, and I love all your fans. I love you. Let's make the myths and storm the Applebee's.
I love it. The legend himself, everybody. Robbie Roadsteamer. Robbie, have a great weekend, my friend. Take care, Robbie. There he is, everybody. Robbie Roadsteamer. That guy is a legend, okay? He is a legend, and I cannot wait to meet him when he comes out here to Vegas. You know, and it's funny that he just mentioned the UNF America Tour. They're the first of the ground national campaign tour directly confronting the rise of Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. Guess who we have coming up next? You're going to want to meet them. The organizers, and Destiny's a part of it. Robbie Roadsteamer's a part of it. And you're going to find and meet right now, coming up here in a few minutes after the break, the person who actually put this whole thing together. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helps Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
You are way too smart, way too talented, way too good to be where you are. You are meant to be making way more money, feel way hotter in your body, and having way more fun. Hi, I'm Nicole Mitchell, and I'm a life coach. I help you get hotter and richer. If that is what you're looking for, you can find me at NicoleMitchell.com. My name, Nicole, is with a K, NicoleMitchell.com. You can reach out to me on my website or on Instagram, and I will be happy to be in touch and figure out what you're looking for and how I can support you in getting there.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Some special guests are going to be joining us on the show next week, including Anthony Scaramucci. He's going to be back on the show. Don Lemon's going to be joining us on the show next week. David Packman, we're still trying to book a day for him to come on next week. But and I've heard a rumor that Destiny might be joining us on the show soon, hopefully. But the guy we just had on the show, who I love, by the way, Gary the Guantanamo Gator, also known as Robbie Roadsteamer, who just joined us. He is part of a group called the UNF America Tour, and it's the first on-the-ground national campaign directly confronting the rise of Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. Listen, I'm for anybody who is anti-Charlie Kirk, and this has turned into a very large organization that was created by the lovely lady we have in studio right now that is nice enough to be here. Her name is Z Cohen Sanchez, and she is the founder of the UNF America Tour. Z, it is great to have you here. How are you?
Thanks. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
First, Robbie Roadsteamer. You're following Robbie Road, who, by the way, is a part of your organization. You saw the videos he did with the what would you call him? The Gator? What was he again? Gary the Guantanamo Gator. Yeah, it was pretty funny stuff. Were you out there?
I was, yeah.
What was that like?
It was really interesting. I mean, Turning Point in person is just a complete and total beast, really. And Robbie in person, too, is even funnier, believe it or not.
How repulsive is Charlie Kirk? I mean, seriously.
I mean, he is, yeah. I mean, he's honestly, I think he's one of the biggest threats to our democracy.
Really? Yeah. I think he's a threat because of, I agree with you, because of all the young people, that he attracts to his organization. So I would tend to agree with you. So talk to me about how you founded the UNF America Tour. When did this start? What made you decide to do this and where you're at right now?
Yeah. So I honestly was driving around in February of this year, and I was thinking, Turning Point USA is so massive. I was reading an article that Charlie raised $100 million last year. He visited 300 college campuses, believe it or not. So he's at a college campus almost every single day. And then we wonder why the youth vote shifted 9 points to the right. So to me, it was just obvious that Charlie is a massive part of that. And we have never had a serious organization challenge him. We don't have college chapters. We don't have our own college tour. You'd be lucky if we even show up to a college like once a year, right?
I feel like this is one of many factors of why Kamala Harris lost.
Yes.
She lost. The Democrats lost, because I'm not going to put it on her. There's a lot of reasons why she lost, but this is one reason. They got the younger vote. Donald Trump was doing all the younger podcasts. You had the Charlie Kirks of the world that were going all over the country. And while I despise Charlie Kirk, and of course I despise Donald Trump, they got the younger vote. And I think what you're doing is extremely important. I think the Democrats need to recognize that. Have you had any prominent Democrats? I know you have Destiny and obviously characters like Robbie and some big names on the left, but have you had any actual people in Washington, D.C. and any politicians that have reached out to you guys?
No, we haven't. And we've attempted to reach out to the DNC, to Ken Martin directly. We haven't heard back. It's something that we have to get together, because at the end of the day, we don't have any infrastructure that somebody like Charlie Kirk has. And that was so obvious at the Student Action Summit. I mean, just to describe it to your listeners, it's in the Tampa Convention Center. So it's a massive convention center. It was completely full to the brim. Probably anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 people were there. And the way that they had it set up was different levels. So the very top level was all the big speakers like the Tucker Carlsons and folks like that. where Charlie was interviewing them and getting content. The second level was what they call Media Row, which was essentially every person you could think of in media on the right had their own little booth set up where they were doing interviews and they were stopping people. And then the bottom level, they had conferences going on. So all of this going on at one time. And I'm sitting here thinking, I've worked in Democratic politics now for over a decade on the inside and the outside of the party. And we don't have anything even remotely close to that type of infrastructure.
You know, it's really unfortunate that no prominent Democrats have reached out to you. I would think somebody like an AOC or, a Jasmine Crockett or somebody who maybe is younger than your typical politician that would have reached out to you by now. And by the way, I think that's a mistake that they haven't. And I see this weasel, Charlie Kirk, right? This what I would consider him to be a white supremacist, or at least at a minimum, a white supremacist sympathizer. Mm-hmm. And he goes to these college campuses and he does these 90-second debates with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old liberals. Not that there's anything wrong with being a liberal. And I'm sure there are plenty of intelligent liberals that are 18, 19, 20 years old. Nothing against them. But that's not a debate.
Right.
Okay. And you have Parker, who's a friend of mine, who shows up to one of his events, won't debate him, won't really have any engagement. And then he claims that he'll debate anybody. And I'm thinking to myself, I understand that everybody that shows up, you can't do a 1-hour debate with. I understand that. But you're giving people 90 seconds. How about pick 4 or 5 people on a debate team at a college campus that's a liberal to debate you? Why won't he do stuff like that?
Well, I mean, that's the other thing that's really interesting. So I don't know if people know this, but these are not random college kids. They are pre-picked people, right? So when there's this line at Charlie Kirk's event, it's not really a line. I mean, his staff have gone out and they've picked whoever, right? So we don't even know if these people, if these are actually their thoughts or if they're just told hey, we want you to say, I don't know, something stupid about it. So
these aren't just random people. I didn't know that.
No, I don't believe so. Because when we were at Texas A&M, the way that the line was structured was that they were pushing people to the front that they wanted to debate. Now, not everybody was staged. We did end up getting somebody on our side, but even in that case, they had pre-picked that person from our team.
And I think about how despicable it is that a guy like a Charlie Kirk would pay somebody like a Kyle Rittenhouse to speak at some events. Pay somebody who showed up to a very volatile protest, wearing camouflage, showing up with an AR-15 at 17 years old. Now, I understand he wasn't convicted, but at a minimum, really stupid behavior. Even Rittenhouse admitted he shouldn't have been there. And then a week earlier, he's bragging about shooting people that are shoplifting out of a convenience store. So we know his train of thought. He's an imbecile. He's an idiot. I put him in the same category as a George Zimmerman. Idiots. And Charlie Kirk pays him to make a speech?
Yeah.
What the hell is Kyle Rittenhouse going to talk about that any reasonable person with an IQ over 20 would want to hear? And these are the people. Why is it? I guess this is mine. Why is it that so many people on the right put people like Kyle Rittenhouse on a pedestal, or the McCloskeys, people who point guns at a bunch of black people that are not on their private property, or Hulk Hogan, a guy who openly has said he hates black people, or somebody who runs the UFC in Dana White, who is a wife beater, or Kid Rock, who uses homophobic slurs, who I just think is absolute trailer trash. All due respect to all people who live in trailers. Kid Rock is trailer trash. These are the people who the Republican Party put up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. Who do they have?
Yeah.
James Woods, Chachi? Like that's what drives me crazy. There's so many wonderful people, on the left, like even a George Clooney, right? Or Jon Stewart. These are smart, intelligent, and compassionate people.
Well, I'm glad that you said the IQ over 20, right? Because Charlie's entire shtick is that we need people less educated. Why do we need people less educated? Because he can't sell people like Kyle Rittenhouse to people that are educated, right? And it's weird because Charlie, this was sort of, I don't know how long your listeners have been following Charlie Kirk, but he's been doing these college campus tours now for over a decade. I graduated from college in 2014, so I'm going to be 35 soon. When I remember Charlie Kirk going to college campuses when I was younger, right after I graduated college, there wasn't much talk around, the education stuff. There wasn't much talk around that college is a scam, which is a big talking point of his. But now all of a sudden, and I'm sure it's aligned with Project 2025, college is a scam. He has his women's summit that he does I think in May every year, where he literally, I don't know if your listeners might have seen this clip where he told a 14-year-old girl that was saying that she wanted to go get a college degree in political science, and if that was a good idea, he said that she should get an MRS degree, referring to that she should go to college to find a husband. He's saying that now people that are if you find a husband after the age of 25, you are 50% less likely to have children. All of this he's saying for a reason, right? He's saying it because they don't want people to be educated.
I mean, to me, this is the platform of the Republican Party to an extent. Very misogynistic. The woman should be in the kitchen, right? There are actually people on the right that are talking heads for the right, that only think the man in the household should be allowed to vote. We're in 2025. A very misogynistic attitude. And, it's also why there are fewer women in the Republican Party than in the Democratic Party, and certainly fewer minorities. I mean, it's pretty evident to me that there's one party that treats women certainly a lot better than the other party, just when it comes from a policy perspective. So, UNF America Tour, explain to me, and obviously I would give my own answers to this as well, why I think America is effed when Donald Trump is president of the United States. But give me your explanation, Z. Why? Explain to me the UNF America, and why are we effed right now?
We are effed right now because we are not in a position to win, I don't think, to win the midterms in the 2028 presidential election. I know that a lot of people say that Trump's approval ratings are dipping. That is true. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we can win. We're dealing with a lot of people that have fallen into a cult, and that, as we have seen in the past, it doesn't matter what Trump does, right? The real question is going to be, are these Epstein files actually going to change voters' minds? We're starting to see cracks in Trump that the voters are becoming more and more skeptical of. And that has really come up because of the Epstein files. So we think that this is a great opportunity to get in now while that trust is breaking down and have these conversations. Because what we found is that talking to these kids at Turning Point USA, you'd be surprised. A lot of them are very apolitical. A lot of them actually don't like Charlie Kirk. A lot of them are about Trump. Like, they're like, yeah, I'd rather vote for him.
I think his own wife might be on that list too, by the way. I'm not sure how much she should like him either. No, he's repulsive. And forget about even physical appearance. I'm just saying in general, he's a repulsive human being, and he's a grifter, just like a Candace Owens, or any of these others on the far right that say and spew their garbage on social media. And sadly, Charlie Kirk has made millions of dollars spreading racism and hatred. He's a repulsive and despicable human being. That's all they care about. They care about money. Jack Posobiec. I mean, I could name you so many of them on the right on social media that their job all day is just to spew hate when it comes to trans people, when it comes to homosexuality, when it comes to anybody that's not Christian, when it comes to anybody who's not a Trump supporter. In fact, it was even Charlie Kirk who said, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, you're not a true Christian. I mean, it's just despicable statements that he makes on a regular basis. Should I be worried if I get on a plane and my pilot is black? What normal human being that is not a racist would make a statement like that?
Yeah, and then it's hilarious because, like, Trump isn't even really a Christian. I mean, the guy held the Bible upside down, right? So, I mean, it is ridiculous. But it is time that we actually get serious about winning elections in this country through the Democratic Party. And the reality is, I mean, as a Democrat myself, as somebody that supported the party, I still support the party. I just don't think that there's an excuse why Kamala Harris could have possibly lost when we had more money, when we had, every reason to win against somebody like Trump, and we didn't.
Can I pick your brain on that?
Yeah, please.
I have a few theories.
Yeah.
First of all, I respect Joe Biden a lot. I think he's a good man. Thought he was a good president.
Yeah.
I think one of his best qualities is empathy for others. I respect Dr. Jill Biden. But to me, Joe Biden hurt his legacy by not stepping down much sooner. You put Kamala Harris in a very tough spot. See, to me, that's number one, the number one reason. He should have said, I'm only going to be a one-term president, and then a year earlier allowed the process to be able to vote for and pick who was going to be running for president. Put Kamala. I don't blame Kamala Harris at all, by the way. I thought she did as good of a job as she could have done. I thought she did a good job in the debate. I thought her campaign made a lot of mistakes. Didn't reach out to enough younger people, like you guys. Didn't do enough podcasts. Waited a little too late. But again, Joe Biden should have said, okay, I'm passing the throne to somebody else much sooner. I'm very disappointed in him for not doing that. To me, there's no excuse for it. The young vote, we talked a little bit. about that. I think the messaging from Democrats wasn't good. I like Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Again, I think Tim Walz is a nice man. Don't think it was the right pick. I said it was the wrong pick on day one. I hope it works out. I liked him. I met Tim Walz here in Vegas. Great guy. Good dude, right? That cool football coach that you had in high school, right?
Yeah.
I like him. I think he's a good governor. Wrong guy for that job. Now, I know Josh Shapiro probably didn't want the job as VP. At least that's what I heard. I don't think that was the right choice. So I thought that was another mistake. I thought her campaign was a little bit too careful with her from the beginning. Very capable. She could have done the Howard Stern show. She could have done Joe Rogan. Would that have made a difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I tell you what I think would have. Joe Biden stepping down much sooner. And I was very disappointed that he didn't do that. I think there's a lot of reasons. You're right. They had the money. And listen, I'm going to give you another reason that has nothing to do with Democrats or Kamala Harris. There's a lot of people in this country that are very stupid.
Yeah.
They're ill-informed. They're uneducated. They get their information from Fox Noise, as I call it, as OAN and Newsmax. They're very stupid people that are brainwashed. So I'm not necessarily talking about those people. I think if Kamala had a little bit more time to campaign, she would have had a better shot. There's a lot of people that are brainwashed, and I think the Democrat Party needs new leadership. I know I'm giving you kind of a long explanation here, but I've thought about this a lot, and I talk about this stuff a lot. Chuck Schumer needs to go. Nancy Pelosi needs to go. You have younger rising stars within the party that need a bigger platform. Let AOC have a stronger role, or a Jasmine Crockett, or a Swalwell. There's a lot more people within the party. The governor of Maryland, another guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more people in the party that I think need a stronger voice. I don't want to listen to Chuck Schumer anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I know I said a lot there for you to dissect.
No, I 100% agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I like 100%. I mean, I also think Joe Biden is a great guy.
Mhm.
I also think he hurt his legacy.
Mhm.
What I will say is that I think that the donors, and this is my theory, of course, but like having worked on the inside of the party on races, I think that the donors forced him really to stay in as long as he did.
You think so? Really?
I do.
That's unfortunate.
Because I think
Yeah.
that we both, I mean, both of us saw that he was not, way before the debate, that he should not have been running, right? It didn't take the debate.
He's getting old. He's getting old.
I mean, that was obvious, right? And so the donors obviously saw that too. I mean, they're getting inside information that we're not getting. So they obviously saw that this was happening. And instead of saying, hey, we have to pivot now before it's too late, they waited until the last minute to pivot to a point.
That's a good point. What the moment was for me when George Clooney went public, and he's like, he didn't even recognize me. He didn't even know who I was. This is not the same Joe Biden from a year ago. I said, okay, George Clooney's not going to lie.
Yeah.
He wants what's best for the country. He wants what's best for the Democratic Party. And the debate was just a complete debacle.
Yeah.
I thought Kamala Harris did a good job under those circumstances dealing with a bully. But Joe Biden just was not there mentally. He just was not. He was not the same guy from 4 years back, where he was able to, not only put up with Donald Trump, but defeat Donald Trump, in my opinion, in those debates. That was really an embarrassing performance. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. It just was. And it wasn't that Donald Trump won the debate.
Yeah.
He was full of garbage and crap and lies and no substance either. But Joe Biden lost it. It's not that Donald Trump won it. But what do you say we take some phone calls? I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to ask you some questions as well. So I'll open up the phone lines now, and we're going to talk about a number of different things. I know you've been monitoring the Jeffrey Epstein story and what's been going on here. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but before we take calls at 702-221-7283. And again, that number right now, if you want to join the conversation, is now the time to do so. 702-221-7283. So Senator Richard Durbin put out some information that he received saying that the office was told that personnel, members of the FBI, were instructed to flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned. Now, that's a big deal. And he's saying that's why phase 2 was never released and why Donald Trump is calling it a hoax. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think we all know that Donald Trump is involved, right? I think to what degree, and I think even more important than that, if this does come out, is it actually going to turn voters away or not? Because we do remember that Donald Trump did say that he could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose a supporter.
One of the few things truthful that man has ever said. He did say that. That's why we call it a cult.
Yeah.
And, I call it a Klan cult because I've been to some of Donald Trump's rallies, sadly, because I had to. And I truly believe that there are so many in his base of supporters that are racist bigots, and they're just ill-informed and uneducated. And people that are racist and bigoted in nature, they're ignorant.
Right.
That's where racism comes from. Some hate, sometimes, but usually it's ignorant.
Yeah.
When you look at somebody based on skin color and judge them, or religion and judge them, it's ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agreed.
that's what I would say.
And I mean, I think that there's sort of this misconception that all Trump supporters are white supremacists. And I guess like I'm a little bit different that way. I don't buy that. As somebody that goes and, our company knocks doors in middle America, and we talk to these voters, most of them are just struggling. They're struggling, and they're not educated enough to understand that the Democrats are going to do more for them than the Republicans are.
Well, Z, as normally is on this show, the phone lines are full.
Oh, cool.
We get calls all over the country, and quite frankly, all over the world. We get a lot of calls from Canada, from the UK. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that want to ask you some questions as well. So we will open up the phone. We have opened up the phone lines, and they're full. Let's start off with Larry. And by the way, if you guys are just joining us, Z. Cohen Sanchez is the founder of the UNF America Tour to confront Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. She is our special guest and co-hosting with me for the rest of the show. Nice enough to be here. All right, let's go to Larry. Larry, what's going on?
Hello there, to the both of you. First off, I'd like to say I agree 100% with you pretty much on everything I just heard for the last 5 minutes on hold. I agree with you 100%. The only thing is, some things, it might be jealousy of the other races because it would seem like they have more, but they work harder to get it. The other thing I actually thought of that I had a question on is, the people on that Epstein list, I will put it as that they're like drug users.
Well, I don't know about that. And to me, that would be academic. If you're on that list, I don't care what you put in your body. If you molested children.
No. My point is, it's an addiction. It did not stop just because Epstein went goodbye. Somebody else stepped up. It's, kind of like on the street corner in New York, you got that little dime street dealer selling bags
I get
of
you,
weed.
Larry. Yeah.
As soon as he's arrested, 10 minutes later, there's another dude standing there.
Larry, I get what you're saying. And I think you would agree, Z, my number one priority is justice for the victims.
Yeah.
I think this is where most MAGA supporters and Democrats agree. Release the files unredacted. We know Donald Trump is not going to do that. But for me, it's like, I don't care whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. I want to know who associated themselves with Epstein and who may have committed some crimes. It certainly appears to me that Donald Trump is all over these files.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Yeah. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Joseph. Joseph is next up on PTL. Hey, Joseph, what's going on?
Yeah. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
All right. Here's my piece. Hearing all that stuff about Trump makes me think that all that Trump is doing is he's trying to keep himself away from the Epstein files because he doesn't like the fact that he doesn't want to become a criminal. And it's going to make ordinary people like us to deal with these kind of criminals. I mean, have you ever seen that White House posted a Superman poster with Trump on it?
Yeah.
I mean, I find it terrible, disturbing, and disgusting thinking that they don't like the fact that Superman was an immigrant. I mean, if those MAGA Republicans would have seen the Zack Snyder's Superman movie.
Well, listen, Joseph.
Joseph,
I think Superman, according to MAGA, has changed a lot physically. Now, according to Trumpers, Superman is morbidly obese. He puts on 8 layers of orange makeup. He wears a girdle. I guess that's the newest Superman, who's never been in a physical altercation, as far as I know, in his life, who dodged the military multiple times, who brags about sexually abusing women. Is that the new Superman? I wonder what the late Chris Reeves would have to say about that.
I say he's going to be very disappointed in that one because Superman was born as American immigrant from another planet. Yes. I mean, and they're complaining about that. I mean, come on. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, who created Superman, they were Jewish immigrants.
Well, trust me, if Superman or Chris Reeves was brown for years, MAGA Republicans would be saying Superman needs to be deported. So Joseph, I appreciate your phone call, my man. Thank you. Yeah. How sick are people that some of them, make out Donald Trump to be Superman? Like a morbidly obese, adjudicated rapist is somehow Superman. It's just.
What is his body fat percentage again?
4%. It's probably not. Yeah. My health, it's perfect. That's what people are saying. It's perfect. But Mr. President, what's up with your hand and why are you wearing like 8 socks and why are you struggling to walk and why do you have 4 hair transplants and wear more makeup than a clown? That's what I would ask him. Anyway, maybe that's part of the reason why Melania wants to be in another zip code. I don't know. 702-221-7283. As I mentioned, we have Zico and Sanchez in studio. The founder of the UNF America Tour, which I would actually love to be involved in because I have some friends that actually are already involved in what you guys do. All right, why don't we go to Dana? Dana is next on PTL. Hey, Dana.
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Hey, Z.
Hi.
I'm calling from Alabama, first-time caller.
Thank you.
And I've been watching you for a while. I've sort of laid off of the mainstream media. I'm really pissed at them. So I've been watching you, and I've got a big question I haven't seen an answer for. And all of these MAGA supporters of Trump who are demanding the Epstein file, they're just overly dramatic with wanting it. My question is, do they not know that Trump is in there? He's all over that, and they are wanting to expose him. Are they that stupid?
I'll tell you the people that know for sure that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. Her name is Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and basically anybody else in the Trump administration. They know that he's in the files. And now this new information, they know. The people that anybody.
Do you believe Trump has seen them, the files?
Yes.
He knows them.
So he already admitted that he had a meeting with Pam Bondi about this like a week or two ago. And that's all of a sudden when he didn't want anybody talking about it. So he knows he's all over the files. I'll stand by that and they can sue me if they want to.
I want to pull my hair out because I'm thinking.
My hair's already pulled out. I don't have any hair.
He's in there everywhere.
Here's even funny. Did you ever think we would see the day, Z, where Donald Trump would be suing Rupert Murdoch and people are calling him woke? Because that's what they're doing now.
That's crazy. But also Charlie Kirk is as well, for sure. I mean, that's why he flip-flopped on his position last week.
Sure.
I have to limit my time seeing and hearing Donald Trump and all of his people. It makes me literally nauseated. I have to quit.
Isn't it interesting, my dear? And by the way, stay safe out there in Alabama. Isn't it interesting that they called lefty liberals pedophiles for years and now they're defending one and they voted for one, ladies and gentlemen. And they want to talk about Joe Biden sniffing hair. I guarantee you that Donald Trump was on Epstein Island. I guarantee you that Donald Trump did illegal things with Jeffrey Epstein. I guarantee you that the man who talked about his own daughter's body as being voluptuous, if she wasn't my daughter, I would date her. The guy who has 25 women that have accused him of rape or sexual assault, including his ex-wife in court documents under oath, and a liable sexual abuser in the E. Jean Carroll case, who bragged about sexually abusing women and grabbing them by the genitals, is guaranteed in the Epstein files. Mark my word. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Terry. Terry's next on PTL. Hey, Terry, what's going on?
Hey, good afternoon, Brian. Good
Hi.
afternoon, Z. Z, I have a question for you, actually. Just to give you a little background, I'm a lifelong Democrat and cast my first vote at age 18 for Jimmy Carter. I spent a lot of time deconstructing the 2024 election, and I really thought that the youth and the women would show up for Harris. I really did. Boy, was I wrong. And obviously, I feel like the Democratic Party was sort of out of touch. In terms of moving forward, we have David Hogg out there. And Ken Martin, of course, is out there. How do you think you could bring, get about bringing these people into what you're trying to do? And I don't know, just get to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question. I mean, so I think that right now, like inside the Democratic Party, there are so many issues, right? Like we just saw this with David Hogg, who was ousted from his position. How that happened could be debated. I mean, the Democratic Party says one thing, he says another. I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle of that. But we spent so much time politicking on the inside that we're not reaching voters. And one of the things I respect deeply about David and his work and Leaders We Deserve is that he is committed to making sure that that we don't have people dying in office, which has become a huge problem, right? We've already had how many special elections this year already? I can't even count because so many people have either passed away or had to resign because they're sick or whatever.
That's a good point.
Right? Yeah. And
how do you get the younger vote when the average Democrat in office is like 70?
It's hard. It's hard.
It's getting better. I want to hear more of the younger. And listen, Josh Shapiro is a good age, right? But I think, in my personal opinion, if you're over the age of 70, if you have to be 35 or older, right, to be the president of the United States, then maybe you shouldn't be older than 70.
Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous.
That's just my personal opinion. But I appreciate the call, my dear.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to find a way to work together ultimately because that's the only way we can.
Thank you for the phone call. Good question. Why don't we go all the way to Las Vegas? You know, our calls are all over the country and sometimes all over the world, but Mark is calling out of Las Vegas. What's up, Mark?
Hi, Brian. Hello, guest. Hey, a couple of things for you. One is, my understanding is the Wall Street Journal, if this suit goes through, there's discovery. So is the Trump administration really going to sue them? Because if so, then a lot of dirty laundry is going to come out. Would I be correct on that?
Sorry, could you repeat the last part of the question?
Yes, the Wall Street Journal, you know, this whole business about suing them, is the Trump administration really going to follow through with that? Because then you have the process of
Mark,
discovery.
I get your question in regards to discovery. This is what Donald Trump always does. Like, for example, here's what I think is going to happen. Bill Maher called Donald Trump the son of an orangutan, which, by the way, I believe he is. And then Donald Trump sued him, and then he knew he wasn't going to win the suit, and he withdrew it. They're just trying to use this as a scare tactic. I would love to see discovery in this. And by the way, the Wall Street Journal is not a liberal newspaper, okay? Not by any stretch. Rupert Murdoch is not a Democrat. So, you know, if they had the goods on this, they're not making this stuff up. I believe this letter is real. They could do forensics on it if they actually have the letter. I don't know if they actually have it. But the idea that this guy was hanging out in parties with Epstein and he was once his best friend, and that somehow it's out of the realm of possibility that he wrote him a birthday letter with drawing a picture of a naked woman, and the idea that Trump could never do something like this is insane. It's insane.
Right. Yeah. Hey, you know, you really need to stop talking about Trump's good points and get to the bad stuff.
Yeah, you're right, Mark. Hey, Mark.
A lot of them.
Mark, have a good weekend, brother. I appreciate your call. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff is next on PTL. What's up, Jeff?
How are you guys doing?
Hey.
I think my complaint right now would be, how come the DNC isn't running ads on television? You know, like ads on like NASCAR events or wrestling events, you know, where they have ads like, you know, the Supreme Court is out of control. You know, the Epstein files, also like, there was, you know, the rallies.
Yeah.
Okay. The No Kings rallies. You know, there should be ads already right now being made or already running from the DNC on all this stuff that's been happening. Because, like, if you watch Fox News on Sunday, they did not mention one rally.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. They showed Gator. They showed the alligator in Florida, you know, that prison. Yeah. They didn't show one rally of millions of people protesting Trump.
Yeah.
So the DNC needs to start running ads on Fox News, on wrestling shows, on NASCAR shows about what Trump has been doing.
Yeah, well, this is a big part of the problem in the Democratic Party, and this has been happening for as long as I've been working in and out of the party, and I'm sure longer as well, is that we don't campaign until the very end of the campaign season. This has always happened. So yes, could we have had more time with Kamala Harris? Sure. Would that have made a difference? I don't know. It's hard to say, right? But a big part of the problem is that when we go to run a candidate, especially for president, but really for any race, we wait so long. And the Republicans, they set up shop in these states and they never leave, right? Like, for example, if you look at a state like Alabama, or you look at a state like Arkansas, the Republicans literally move in, they hire people, they invest in people, they train them, they pay them well, they do all of these things, they give them opportunities and title races and everything. And then we wonder why these are just deep red states. They're not deep red states because of the population necessary. They're deep red states because the infrastructure of the RNC is so strong, and we never do that. When we set up infrastructure, we do it just for the campaign season, and then most of the time we just dissipate into thin air and you never see us again. And our turnover is high, and we don't invest in our young people, and we burn them out. So the average age of an operative in the Democratic Party is like 22 years old, and the average age in the Republican Party is like 40, right? And so we have to, if we're going to tackle the issues, we also have to tackle the issues of infrastructure. So that's why you're not seeing ads running. It's why you're not seeing doors being knocked. Like, the Republicans are out there knocking doors all the time.
That's true. That's a good point. Thank you for the call. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Ken. Ken is next up on PTL. Hey, Ken, what's going on?
Well, just a scary one. My best guesstimation is there's 30 million people in this country that would kill or die for him right now. And that scares the crap out of me.
Well, they are sicko fans. That's why I call it a cult. I don't know if it's that many, but I would probably say perhaps millions. I agree with you when, like we were talking a little bit earlier with Z about when he said, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would still support me. That was one of the more truthful things that he's ever said. There are a lot of people in this country. They're dangerous because they're ill-informed. They're uneducated. They will not admit they're wrong. There are very few people in this country. Think about this for a moment. There are very few MAGA Republicans, but there are some that are said, man, now I regret my vote because, he's not releasing the Epstein files. Well, what the hell? Why did you vote for the guy in the first place? You thought he was going to be telling you the truth when he said he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it, or he was going to hire a special prosecutor to go after Hillary Clinton, no tax on tips. Well, it turns out there's a cap at 25 grand and then your taxes go up.
Yep.
This guy, Marco Rubio, said it best. Okay. One of the few things Marco Rubio has said that I agree with when he said, if Donald Trump didn't get a $500 million company from his daddy, he would be selling fake gold watches in Manhattan because he's a swindler or a snake oil salesman, a sexual abusing, lying bastard. That's what he is.
And if he'd just let it ride, he'd be the richest man on the planet.
But we can't give up on the college students, because I'm telling you, the college students that we talked to from Turning Point, they're not cult members of Trump. I mean, in fact, a lot of these kids, they're just getting brainwashed on the red pill pipeline. So they're into like the gym culture, the gym bro culture, and then they watch TikTok and they don't have any political affiliation. And then all of a sudden they see Myron Gaines talking about, being fit. And then all of a sudden the next thing out of his mouth is women are inferior, women shouldn't vote. And then they just listen to it.
It's interesting. Myron Gaines did this show not that long ago, and he was extremely tame.
Oh yeah.
Like
he does that.
when I went on with him, or when he went on this show, extremely tame. We were agreeing on a lot of things. And I said to myself, where's the Myron Gaines that goes on Pierce Morgan? Why don't they have me on Pierce Morgan when he's on? Because I would rip him one. He's a misogynist pig, and I believe he's racist.
Yeah,
yes, black people can be racist too. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Gordon. Gordon is next up on PTL. Hey, Gordon, what's going on?
I just want to make a comment about the guy earlier called in about Trump suing people.
Yeah.
And what he does, whether he's got a case or not, see, he's got all kinds of money for lawyers and such. He tries to wear people down financially.
Yeah.
And I believe you mentioned Bill Maher and the orangutan thing.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen an interview with that where Bill Maher won the case, but it cost him a shitload of money.
That's the problem with a lot of people in this country. They use our justice system when they have the means financially to go after people, when the others do not have the money to be able to sufficiently defend themselves. They start these frivolous lawsuits time and time again. Donald Trump has used the justice system for that purpose. Keep in mind, this is the same guy that has had to pay off thousands in discrimination lawsuits because he didn't want brown people living in his place of ownership in Manhattan. This is a guy who has had to pay out a lot of people in his life, but this is a man who uses our justice system to attack people and intimidate people, and that is not the way our justice system should be used for.
I agree. And also, I just tuned in, so oh shit. Forgive me, I got old-timers disease.
That's
forgot
okay,
what I
you're
was gonna
good.
say.
That's okay. I think you were about to say that Donald Trump is definitely in the Epstein files. I think that's what you were going to say, sir.
He's human garbage.
He is. Well, we agree on that. We agree on that, my friend. Hey, I appreciate your call, sir. It's really good to hear from you.
I love your show.
Thank you,
I
sir.
love your show.
Thank you. That means a lot. You have a great weekend, my friend. I really appreciate that. Good to get calls all over the country. We do this every day, and it's certainly a lot of fun. And I like to think that the people that call into the show, diversity of what it was like at a Kamala Harris rally and what the country looks like. Not these right-wing buffoons like Sean Hannity and Mark Levin who only get middle-aged white people. I get sick and tired of it when Sean Hannity, hi, Sean, I love your show. Oh, my God, I just want to throw, hi, Sean. Oh, my God, I hate the View, but, oh, you're a patriot. Oh, my God, these people want to make me throw up, Z. I want to throw up. 702-221-7283. Oh, my God, Sean Dad Bod, Sean Hannity. Oh, my God. All right, let's go to Kathy. Kathy is next up. I'm telling you, that's what these callers sound. Hi, Sean. Oh, Kathy's next on PTL. What's up, Kathy?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Z.
Hi.
Z, this is a question that I really wanted to talk to you about. I'm so glad you're on this show.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk about, I'm part of the 92% of women who voted for Trump, Black women who voted for Trump. I'm not for Trump, rather, God help me, but Kamala Harris. What I see with the Democratic Party and what happened, there are voter groups out there that Black Voters Matter and Stacey Abrams Fair Fight groups that have went out into urban communities, into Black and diverse communities, but they didn't get the funding for from the Democratic Party. Yeah. There were ads that were run in specific states. When he started this whole eating the cats and dogs nonsense ads, there were no ads that were supported by the Democratic Committee to help these organizations that are on the ground doing the work.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the problems of the Democratic Party. They don't give our communities enough support to get the voters out there and to organize, but yet they expect us to vote for them when the campaigns come up, when the political cycles come up. Now, they're silent right now. And this is really angering me because there are states like Georgia and there are states like Texas that are eroding our voting rights.
Yeah.
They are doing the voter suppression. They are, trying to purge us from voter rolls. Right now in Georgia, 500,000 people are going to be purged from the votes because they deem those people inactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why isn't the Democratic Party addressing this, and what can we do? Because we are sick and tired. And I'm not talking for all Black people, but I'm talking for myself.
Yeah, it's a good question.
That's a great.
Go ahead.
That's a great question. I mean, Stacey Abrams, I look up to her so much because Stacey arguably did the most work in Georgia that we've ever seen. I mean, her voter registration program was absolutely insane. And by the way, when we're raising money for the UNF America Tour, it's not just to go to campus to combat Charlie Kirk. That is just one piece of it. We're using that money to then register voters in swing states. And that was a big part of Stacey's, her mission. And you're right, the Democratic Party didn't invest in it. I don't even think that fair fight exists anymore, which is such a bummer because they really were on the path to making Georgia a solid blue state. Same thing in Texas. There's been organizations in Texas in the past that did this, didn't get funding from the Democratic Party, and then eventually just dissipate. And another big part of this is that they get sued from Republicans all the time, like what we were talking about earlier. So once they're getting sued, they're getting drained of their funding. Democratic Party's not there to help them, and then things just dissipate. And I think that the only way that we're going to be able to change that is if we really put pressure on the Democratic Party. They just invested $20 million into a YouTube show. Okay. I don't want to upset you even more.
That's a lot of money.
I don't want to turn you into the 8% that's going to go vote for Trump, but $20 million into a YouTube show, that money in a voter registration program or against a Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA could mean so much to where we go with these voters. Mm-hmm. So we have to start putting pressure. I don't even know the name. It was some lame name. It was Blue something. I think the first episode had less than 1,000 views. I mean,
and they put $20 million in it?
That's what I've read. Yeah.
Wow.
We don't know how true that is, or we haven't seen the records of it. But I mean, and then also this investment in finding the Joe Rogan of the left, right? Mm-hmm. And it's we don't necessarily need a Joe Rogan of the left. We need you guys to invest in voter registration, because there are kids out here every day that we don't register new voters, that we don't combat people like Charlie Kirk, is another day that some 17-year-old kid is sitting on TikTok and getting red pilled, right?
Well, I also think that the Democrats need to stop being nice.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a long time now. I love Michelle Obama. I respect the hell out of her. Wonderful woman. It's so smart, beautiful. But back then when she said, when they go low, we go high, I understand what she was trying to say. That doesn't work right now.
Not right now.
And I'm not saying you have to stoop down to Donald Trump's level either, but you have to start being more aggressive, like the Destinies of the world and others. It's time where we stop being nice.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's time to fight. And by the way, when I say fight to you MAGA buffoons out there, I'm not saying I condone violence, because I never have and I don't. Okay? And Maxine Waters can say be confrontational. Confrontational doesn't mean physically harm somebody, okay? When people on January 6th say hang Mike Pence, that's very different than when I say we need to fight. I want to be very clear on that to the, some of my MAGA listeners are a little slow.
Yeah.
So I need to explain things to them a little bit. Oh, Brian, are you condoning violence? No, you dummy. Yeah. I'm saying fight, meaning show some more fight. And you should be angry. 702.
In her defense, like 2008, we're just not in 2008, right?
We're not.
Like it's
we're
just,
not.
totally different world.
Agree.
Yeah.
702-221-7283. Let's go to Michael. Michael's next up on PTL. Hey, Michael, what's going on?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good.
First time call. I love your show.
Thank you.
My biggest question is, why are you platforming a racist? That's why Parker is not part of this UNF America Tour. There's receipts all over social media with Z being extremely racist. We are against that.
Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. Now, I'm unaware of this. Maybe Z can...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Z, do you have any knowledge that...
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so why is he a racist then? Tell us why.
Microaggressions. It's all over, Brian.
What
you
was
look
the
into it.
microaggression?
It's all over
Well,
TikTok.
but you got to be specific. Okay, so listen, hear me out.
I don't have the exact
Okay,
term.
listen, hear me out. Hear me out. When I called Donald Trump a racist, it's because he said he wanted Jews to count his money in his Atlantic City casinos and not black people. When I called Donald Trump a racist and his family, it's because his father was a Klan member who was arrested at a Klan rally. Donald Trump was sued for discrimination lawsuits, thousands of discrimination lawsuits, and he said plenty of things on the record that most people would consider racist. I know Parker. Yeah. I've met Parker. I don't think he's racist.
You can ask him. That's why he's not part of the tour. Because
he's saying I'm racist.
Wait, he's saying you're racist?
Yes, he's saying I'm racist.
Yes, look it up.
I have a question for you.
You can just type it in.
I thought you were saying Parker was racist.
No.
Absolutely not. That's why Parker is not on this tour, because she's pocketing the money. She's a grift. She's a racist. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so could I ask you a question in return?
He's a coward and he hung up the phone.
Oh, he hung up.
So that's what cowards. So say, coward, why don't you call back into the show?
Yeah, we can have a debate on this.
So that sounds like somebody that's probably not a Democrat, probably a Trump supporter, who calls into a show. And this is what I do, Z, with these people. They call in and they say, Brian, you're a liar. I say, okay, you can call me a liar. What did I lie about? You're just a liar. Just like this idiot who just called into the show. Hey, buffoon, when you call somebody a racist, you have to have some actual proof to back up your stupid opinion. You goon, you.
Yeah,
okay?
we've had a lot of this from the far left, and my answer back to my question back to them is: do you think that somebody like me is as racist as Donald Trump? And if so, and a lot of them, by the way, will answer yes to that question.
Why would somebody even call in and make a statement like that?
Well, because they never. That's the thing, is that they never stay to actually have the conversation, because they know that when they do that, they just like lose.
Yeah. Well, he's a coward. He's a coward. When I call Donald Trump a racist, I bring receipts with me. Yeah. When I call him a sexual abuser, I have receipts with me. When I call him a liar, when I call him insecure, I bring receipts with me.
Well, I get called a Zionist, I get called a grifter, I get called all of these things. And and people say, like, why do I platform people like Destiny, right? Or why do I, and first of all, Destiny platforms us, not the other way around. Let me be clear. But my answer to these people is that, is it in our best interest to expand the tent of the Democratic Party, or is it not? Because one of the issues that we've had in the party is that we're always looking for ways in which people should not enter the tent. And MAGA is completely opposite. MAGA is like, oh, you disagree with us on 90%, but you agree with us on abortion? Welcome in, buddy, right? Like, and
I will say there are more extremists on the right than the left, in my opinion. However, I will say this.
Yeah.
There are a few Democrats that I think are despicable human beings that are high-profile people. I think Rashida Tlaib is despicable. Why? Never on the record has she ever called out Hamas. Never.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I think she's despicable. I don't like Ilhan Omar. And the reason why I don't like Ilhan Omar is because I think, example, there were 2 Jews that were shot outside of, I believe, a museum in New York City.
Yeah.
As as Ilhan Omar is walking to her car, she's asked a very simple question. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Any reasonable, decent human being, no matter what religion they're from or what the color of their skin is, takes 5 seconds over time. My thoughts and prayers are for the victims and their families.
Right.
That's all. And then
Easy.
get it.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah.
Well, you're an idiot, Ilhan Omar. Yeah, I'm going to say that right now. Ilhan Omar is an idiot. And Rashida Tlaib, in my opinion, is anti-Semitic. I don't think the guy who's running for office in New York City is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
I don't always agree with him, but I actually think he's a smart guy. People make statements like you're I also don't think you're anti-Semitic if you criticize the Israeli government.
Of course, yeah.
I said that on Piers Morgan's show. I am not a Benjamin Netanyahu fan. Do I believe Israel should exist? Yes. Do I care for the Israeli people? Yes. Doesn't mean I support everything the Israeli government is doing, and it certainly doesn't mean I support everything Benjamin Netanyahu is doing. He conned Donald Trump into getting us into another ill-advised war.
Yeah.
But when we call people racist, when we call people anti-Semitic, which I do from time to time, you have to have receipts to back it up. So if an idiot is going to call into the show and call you racist or call me racist, you better come up with some receipts, but you're not going to be able to come up with any of them for me. 702-221, and it doesn't sound like he was able to come up with any for you either. 702-221-7283. Andy is next. Hello, Andy.
Oh, hi, Brian. Hi, Z. Andy here from London. Look, I've been trying to address this guy in the chat who's just. Sorry, Z. I don't really know much about your past, and I apologize for not doing any research on you. But yeah, this guy on chat. I've been trying to get him to call in because he seems to have a lot of facts about you. And I keep saying, well, call in. You can call.
Well,
in.
I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention to trolls. I laugh at them. They're welcome to listen to the show, but unfortunately, there's people. There's people that say crazy things about a lot of different people. So I really don't pay attention to that. What I really care about. Go ahead.
Suggested that you are trying to move the left over to the right.
No, I'm not. In fact, actually, it's funny to me because I'm actually a very far leftist. I helped elect AOC on her first race for office. I worked for Bernie twice. I am definitely not.
You're trying to move people to the right. You guys are might be more anti-Trump than Melania Trump.
Yeah, that's true. She shares a bed with them.
Listen. There's going to be idiots. There's going to be idiots everywhere. They're going to say stupid things.
Well, I tried to get him to call in because he seemed to have all the facts at his fingertips. But he said, "Oh, I'm outside." I said, "Well, you seem to be texting a lot, but why did you call in? It's much easier."
There's somebody. There are some very popular. I shouldn't say popular, but there are people with large followings on the right. And somebody in the chat said, "Is Sarah Fields a troll?" She's someone who's been talking complete nonsense about me for years. I just want to make this very clear. Here's the difference between some of these far righties and me. I've never been convicted of a crime in my life. I've never even been charged with a crime. Sarah Fields is a convicted felon who pled guilty to child endangerment. You could look that up. So I don't pay attention to people like that. They could say whatever they want about me. And by the way, they're helping my show because people with large platforms that want to talk crap about me and say crazy things about me. They're so stupid. They're helping my platform.
Yeah.
Again, I've never been convicted of a crime in a court of law, and the people like her that are saying ridiculous things about me are convicted felons, and that's why they support another convicted felon by the name of the orange orangutan adjudicated rapist, Donald Trump.
Absolutely. And this chap has disappeared now from the chat. Coward.
That's okay. Yeah. It's all good. I appreciate your call, and I appreciate my people in London, sir. You have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you for calling in.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Cheers. I love the accent. Cheers. Getting calls from London defending me. I love it. 702. It's a good feeling. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Carlos. Carlos is next on PTL. What's up, Carlos?
Yes. Hi, Brian. First of all, I want to say definitely love your show.
Thank you.
I gotta say, I know you call him the orange orangutan. I call him the orange felon. And I gotta say, I believe that definitely he's on the list. And also, I believe more powerful people are on that list as well too. And he's scared that if that list gets revealed, that those people will be revealed as well too. And who knows, he and his family might suddenly mysteriously disappear as well too.
Yeah, I like that nickname. Can you say that nickname once again, by the way? I like it.
The orange felon.
The orange felon. I like that. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from New York.
Oh, I love my New Yorkers. Can we just agree on this? Donald Trump is not a New York. He's not a real New Yorker.
I don't think so.
No, not at all. Anybody who wakes up in the morning and puts on like 8 layers of orange makeup and a girdle is not a New Yorker, if you ask me. It's funny. They attack drag queens. By the way, I have no issues with drag queens at all. They attack drag queens and they're homophobic, yet the guy who they support, the cultists that they are, is a guy who literally puts on more makeup than any woman I think I've ever gone on a date with. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear on that. Hey, Carlos, I appreciate your call, my friend. I love my New Yorkers out there, my listeners out there in New York. I might be going to New York very soon with a special lady, by the way, on a little vacation. So if I do, I'll make sure to let all the MAGA anti-Semites, I'll give them the exact location I'll be at. Who are we going to next year? Let's go to Al. Al is next on PTL. What's up, Al?
Hey, Brian, what's going on? Hey, Brian, so you're going around and saying that Trump's name is on the list?
I believe he's on the list. Absolutely. Absolutely,
Okay,
I think.
I think it might be on the list, too.
Good.
I think my name might be on the list.
No, well,
it doesn't make me a criminal.
I mean, were you best friend? Okay, so let's go with that for a moment. Let's dissect you, and I'm actually going to try to defend you here, Al, for a minute. I can't believe I'm going to do this because I know you're a Trump supporter. Al, just yes or no questions, if that's okay with you, Al. Al, were you ever best friends with Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Okay, thank you for answering honestly. Al, did you ever go to parties with Jeffrey Epstein staring at women's bodies?
No.
No. Al, were you ever on the Jeffrey Epstein flight log at least 6 times, as we learned in the Maxwell trial? Were you ever on the Jeffrey Epstein flight log, Al?
No.
No. Okay, so Al, another question for you, Al, if you don't mind asking. Did you ever allow Jeffrey Epstein to go on your private jet?
I don't have a private jet.
Okay, thank you. So the answer would be no. I appreciate that, Al. Al, have you had 25 women that have accused you of sexual assault or rape?
I don't know. Possibly.
Whoa.
You possibly have had 25 women that have accused you of rape?
Maybe.
Well, you sound like a great guy, Al. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that'd love to take you out on a date. Well, Al, listen, I'm not sure if rape is something funny. I don't think it is, Al. Al, has your do you have any ex-wives, Al?
Oh, you never know. I mean, anybody can call. Anybody can,
Al. There's a reason. I could ask you more questions, Al, but I'll stop right there. I could ask you if you've ever sexualized your daughter. Have you ever gone into teenage locker rooms and bragged about it without permission? But I'll stop there, Al. There's a reason why I'm asking all these questions, Al. Can you connect the dots? Do you know who I'm talking about? Guess what? The guy who you voted for. So that's why I think Jeffrey Epstein is in there. Okay. Does that make sense now, Al?
And you mean that's why you think Trump is in there? No, I think Trump is in there too, but it doesn't mean that we're innocent until convicted.
Have you ever called the Bidens the crime family?
Yeah.
Okay. Has Joe Biden ever been convicted of a crime? So why don't you shut up then with your, you're innocent until proven guilty, but you're the same guy who calls into right-wing conservative radio shows and talks about the Hunter Biden laptop. You talk about Joe Biden being a pedophile. No, don't interrupt me. No, don't interrupt me. I'm not going to let you with your hypocrisy nonsense because you're a MAGA buffoon. You're the one who calls into shows and calls Joe Biden part of the Joe Biden crime family. But then all of a sudden, when I give you all this evidence about Donald Trump being Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, all of a sudden you play stupid and you say, oh, well, you know what? You're innocent until proven guilty. You know what, Al? Screw you with your hypocrisy, okay? Screw you with your hypocrisy.
Well, you are innocent until you're proven guilty.
Then why did you call Joe Biden? Then why did you call Joe Biden a criminal then, dummy?
Because I'm going to tell you, though. Let me tell you.
Was he charged with a crime?
Well, then there's more.
Oh, please go ahead, Z.
Question: Would you?
Let's see. Be quiet. Let's see. Ask a question. Okay.
If he is on the Epstein list, will you vote for him if he ever did run again?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, of course I will.
Oh, then you're an idiot. Then you support pedophiles. Hey, Al, repeat after me. Al, repeat after me. I'm a right-wing MAGA buffoon cultist who supports pedophiles and rapists. Al, can you please repeat that on the radio? Because that's what you are.
I'm not going to repeat that.
Then if you, she just said, pod this idiot down. She just said that if Donald Trump is proven to be on the Epstein list, that means you would still vote for him. That means you support child rapists. Al. You're a rapist supporter. You support people or would support people that rape children. You are despicable, Al. Repeat after me.
No,
I'm Al the moron, and I support child rapists. Why don't you admit it?
Is there anything that Donald Trump could do that would make you not vote for
There is
him?
no evidence that Trump has committed a crime.
That wasn't
and
the
he has
question.
not been
That
convicted
wasn't.
of that.
By the way, he's a
They're on
30.
the Epstein
By the way,
file.
he's a 34 count felon proven in a court of law. So you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And the only reason why he's not in jail right now is because idiots like you voted for him. You are an idiot. And the fact that you would be asked a question like that. Let me be very clear, Al. Okay, Z, would you ever vote for anybody who is proven to be on the Epstein list?
Absolutely not.
You see, Al, that's the way a decent, normal human being with a moral compass answers a question like that. Why are you so stupid, Al? What is wrong with you?
No, just because you're on the list doesn't mean that you've committed a crime.
He was held liable for rape.
Your name's on the list.
He was on before
If
the
Donald
Epstein.
Trump sodomized a child, if Donald
Does that
Trump,
mean you're a criminal?
if Donald Trump sodomized a child on video, would you still vote for him, Al?
Most likely not. No, I don't
Most
think I would.
likely.
Most likely.
Get the hell
Oh
off
my
my show.
God.
The fact that he actually had to pause and then said most likely, that if I say if somebody molests a child on video and he can't even say 100% he wouldn't vote for Donald Trump because of that. What a despicable human being. And then we wonder how this rapist got into office because of idiots like Al.
The justifications are crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
I get those calls every day, by the way.
I'm sure.
Gets my blood boiling. I'd like to hear Destiny talk to a guy like that. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Frank. Frank is next. What's up, Frank?
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
Good.
How are you doing, Miss Sanchez? I have a question for her. What are the Democrats going to do if the Republican Party redistricts a lot of these states in their favor? What are the Democrats going to do about it?
That's a good question.
Okay.
All that we can do is we can get out and we can campaign earlier and harder. But the real question is, are we going to do that? Because yes, these districts are going to be gerrymandered, even more so than what they are now. So if we have any chance of making sure that we take back the House, that we take back the Senate, that we win the presidency, we're going to have to work harder than we ever have. And the jury's still out right now whether we're going to do that or not. I know groups like ours are going to, but we really need the backing of the DNC to be able to do this effectively.
No doubt. Thank you, Frank, for your phone call. Let's go. Let's go to Armando. Okay. Armando is next up on PTL. Hello, Armando.
Oh, hi, Brian.
Hey.
I saw a clip of, it was Donald Trump. He was on, what's his name? On 7. I forget his name. Anyway, he asked Trump, well, how are you going to end the war in Ukraine? He says, well, I'm going to talk to both Zelensky and Putin, and I'll convince them, to stop the war. And he said, I'm just going to talk to him. But the thing is he thinks he's like the boss man there with Putin and Zelensky.
My boss mentality, no question.
Yeah, tank boss mentality.
Yep.
And then so we look at, and I think it fooled a lot of people because he said he's going to end the war in 24 hours. And it fooled a lot of people because I don't think most people didn't like the.
It's funny how they keep making it. Isn't it funny, sir, how they keep making excuses? Donald Trump ran on he would end the war in 24 hours. And then he said he was just being sarcastic. And now he's given Putin another 50 days. Do you remember during COVID, Z, when Donald Trump held the press conference talking about the possibility of injecting yourself with disinfectant?
Yes.
And he looked so stupid and he looked like such a moron. And then the next day he knew it. And he said, oh, I was just joking.
Yeah.
I mean, and they believe him. These MAGA cultists like Al believe him. Oh, well, I was just being sarcastic. Really? Were you being sarcastic when you said you were going to hire a special prosecutor to go after Hillary Clinton in 2015? Were you being sarcastic when you said you were going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it? Were you being sarcastic when you were saying no tax on tips? But what you didn't say is there would be a cap on it and you would raise their taxes. It's all in that big boner bill. It's part of my French I call it.
Was it sarcastic when he actually spent money to build like a quarter of it and then quit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it was like
wondering.
7% or 4% of the
my
wall.
God.
Again, they're cultists. They believe everything.
Ugh.
702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Paul. Paul is next up on PTL. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey.
He kind of exploited how to me, the Democratic Party is just an utter failure. I asked him about the general strike, and I know you and I briefly talked about it, and he said the Democratic Party would only consider it if it helps them in the midterms. And then he said, Eric Swalwell.
Oh, Alex, okay.
Yes. And then he said, we should have raised the minimum wage and reversed Citizens United when we had the majority in 16 and 17 when Biden was in office. See, and this is what I hear every day when I do my lives on TikTok and YouTube. They are sick and tired of this establishment, not just the Democrats, but the Republicans, right? You've had all 50 people vote for Marco Rubio. You had 127 not vote for the impeachment. You had Cory Booker that votes for Charles Kushner, who's a convicted felon. You got 10 people to vote for this year, 10 people that vote to censure Al Green. And the message is, hey, trust me, bro, we're not MAGA. Put us back in power. I swear it's going to be different this time. Like, the system itself is fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
We had 90 million people that didn't vote because they don't think that the system gives a damn about them.
Yeah. And this is why primaries matter so much, right? Why we have to be supporting organizations like David Hogg's, because if we don't get these people out in the primaries, then we have no shot. And then it also hurts us in the general election too, because yes, there's an argument to be made that, you know, in these more purple districts, blue, no matter who, we all agree on that. But there are a lot of districts across the country where that's not the case. I mean, I have a good friend of mine who's running against Nancy Pelosi. You guys should all look him up. His name's
I know who he is.
Yeah, he's amazing, right? Like, he was AOC's chief of staff. He's awesome. He needs funding. Like, we have to pressure the Democratic Party to give funding to those people. And more than even that, but we also have to get more grassroots effort behind them, because people like Bernie Sanders, he doesn't take corporate money. He outraced everybody in the 2020 primary. So it's possible if we put our money where our mouths are.
But the system is broken.
Well, it's only broken if we allow it to be, right? Like, we have to at least give it a fair shot before we give up. And I don't think we've actually given it a fair shot yet.
Mm-hmm. How many decades do we have to give it a fair shot?
I mean, listen, I've been doing this since 2010, and but I still think that, you know, as long as we're alive, especially if you have kids, then this is our responsibility to not give up. Like, I have a little girl and one on the way.
What I'm saying is,
it's, you know, if they're going to have a future.
Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So for the Democrats to keep saying, trust me, bro, vote for us, we're not the red team, this time we'll fix it, I swear, I promise, give me $10, that's going to the same system. The Democratic Party has failed us.
And that's why we
And a
got
lot
to
of
stop. We
people
got to
didn't
encourage
vote.
people to stop giving that $10 to Nancy Pelosi and start giving it to Shoy Kotz and start giving it to the UNF America Tour and start giving it to leaders we deserve, right? Like, there is enough money that is being funded in the DNC by average working people like you and me, that money could be redirected.
But can I ask you both a question here now that we have Paul on the phone? By the way, Paul, my fill-in host when I'm gone. Paul always does. Paul always does a great job. Paul's great. I want to ask you about when Hakeem Jeffries for 7 hours did for lack of a better term, a filibuster type speech, which in my opinion accomplished nothing because the big beautiful bill still passed.
Yeah.
Why do they waste their time and put their effort into things like that? And you hear so many Democrats saying, "Oh, Hakeem Jeffries, you did such a great job." What the hell did he accomplish?
Those are
guys.
Yeah, those are fun. To me, those are fundraising campaigns. That's what Cory Booker, right? Like, raised so much money after that. And that's why we have to start looking through those things. And again, we have to start actually redirecting our money to the places that we know it's actually going to be effective.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
No,
Paul.
the party is broken. You need 3 or 4 parties. Every election, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, a lot of people are tired of voting for the lesser of 2 evils. Vote for the Democrats because we're not the Republicans. That is not true democracy. It's just not.
I agree.
And as long as we have Citizens United and there's millions, Nancy Pelosi is worth $127 million.
Yeah.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the system itself is broken. And as long as we keep going to the left a little bit, to the right a little bit, and we don't actually fix the problem like that black lady earlier. She is totally right.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party makes these promises, and then they give strongly worded speeches. Look at Cory Booker. He gives a 26-hour speech, and then what does he do? Oh, I'm going to nominate Charles Kushner. Really?
Yeah.
And then you have 127 Democrats that don't vote to impeach. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's not politically beneficial. We don't expect our elected officials to win every battle. We just want them to fight. They're not even getting in the ring with Apollo Creed. They're saying, well, I'm not going to win, so I'm not going to fight the fight. That's the problem that a lot of people have with the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Paul, very well said, my friend. I'm also very jealous that Paul surpassed me with followers on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Very jealous. Very, very jealous. Paul, thank you for calling. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Yeah, Paul has a big following on TikTok.
Oh, yeah?
He's not getting me on YouTube, though. 702-221-7283 is the number to call, just to give people a little bit of a reset button here, because we do take a lot of calls here. Z Cohen Sanchez is joining us in studio. She is the founder of the UNF America Tour, which, by the way, I would love to be a part of.
Please.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to jump on board with you. Maybe we'll talk about that. But we got to confront Charlie Kirk in one way or another with Turning Point USA. It would be a dream of mine to be able to just debate him for just 5 minutes and just read some of the things that he said to him. And what did you mean by this? What did you mean by that? I mean, it just, and then his flip-flopping on the Epstein stuff, it just makes him look like a complete imbecile that he is. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Larry. Larry is next up on PTL. Hello, Larry.
Hello, Brian and Z.
Hi.
Okay. This is Larry from Western Kansas, different from the other Larry.
Good.
But it's similar. Brian, have you ever known an addict, a drug addict, to seek help until they hit rock bottom?
Yes. I know.
It does happen occasionally.
Family members. Yes, absolutely.
But I've got a two-part question for you. I think the rock bottom that we hit with Trump's first term was when, now, were you surprised at his first term when they were storing bodies in reefer trailers because they had ran out of room?
It's interesting you say that. I do remember that time very well because I almost died of COVID myself. I was in the ICU for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That was before the vaccines came out. And my problem was I didn't go to the doctor, and I tried to tough it out at my house until it got into my lungs. And I've told this story on the air before. A personal friend of mine, who, by the way, is a great attorney here in town, I'll give her a shout out, Sandy Vance Law Firm. Sandy came over to my place and she checked my oxygen levels and called 911, and she saved my life. So I take that very personally. And Donald Trump did an F- job in the handling of COVID. He didn't cause COVID. He didn't cause it, but he did an F- job in, downplaying it and
handling of
giving COVID test kits to Vladimir Putin, which we've learned. And turning his COVID press conferences into campaign rallies.
Yeah.
That's really what he did. Whether it be a Joe Biden or a Pete Buttigieg or a Barack Obama or any of these people, when we're going through a crisis, they're talking about the crisis and the American people. They're not trying to make it political. And that's all Donald Trump did. And by the way, to all the MAGA idiots out there, you got me on a rant now. To all the MAGA idiots out there that are anti-vaccine, can somebody please explain to me who started Operation Warp Speed? I guess that was totally okay. They don't mind that. They're anti-vaccine and all these weird conspiracy theories, but the guy who you voted for is the guy who brags about Operation Warp Speed, which, by the way, I think was a great thing. I gave Donald Trump credit for that. But, they're so stupid, these people, okay? They're so stupid. They listen to voodoo demon sperm doctors. That's where they get their information from, or some whack job tinfoil hat idiot named Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yep.
That's my rant.
But okay, now the cult of Trump, I would really like to see you guys get Stephen Hassan, the author of The Cult of Trump, on. I saw him on the Lincoln Project, and I bought his book, and it's very informative. But okay, the second part of the question I've got for you is, would you be surprised, or would you think Trump would never sink that low? At the end of his second term, there's bodies rotting in the streets, bodies rotting in the homes because there's just so much death.
I don't put anything past Donald Trump. I believe, and this is a prediction, on the last day of his presidency, he is going to pardon Maxwell. I actually believe he's going to do that. He is a despicable human being. We don't put anything past him, and January 6th doesn't happen if not for Donald Trump lying about the election because it hurt his ego. And while there is a part of me that feels bad for Ashley Babbitt because she was brainwashed, obviously mentally ill. She served the country, which I appreciate, but her behavior that day killed her. But if Donald Trump didn't lie about the elections, Ashley Babbitt would still be alive today. Her actions are the reason why she was shot and killed. But doesn't mean I don't still feel bad for the fact that there are so many dumb Americans in this country that are so stupid, and they're cult followers. And, they buy the Trump Bibles, and they buy the trading cards, and they buy the gold sneakers, and yet they complain about the price of eggs. I mean, it's just insane. Paul Lance, who just called in, says, thanks for the good chat and fighting for our democracy. Z.
Oh, thank you.
In the YouTube super chat. We appreciate that, Paul. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Who are we going to next year? Let's go to Stevie. Stevie is next on PTL. What's up, Stevie?
Hello. Just wanted to ask a question for both of you guys. Do you guys read the memo that the FBI put out on Epstein?
Which memo?
The memo regarding the Epstein files.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of memos, though. You'd have to. Yeah, can you just help us out and try to be
the one that just came out, the most recent one?
Okay. Well, what was said in it? You can share it with us because I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Well, the one that was just sent out in July states that the Epstein files were not released because there's information from the victims intertwined.
Right. So you can. Okay, I understand. So Pam Bondi can retract any sensitive information when it comes to victims. So that's something that can easily be solved. So if that's your excuse and you're defending the fact that they're not releasing the files, that's garbage because, again, they're allowed to redact. And that's actually what Democrats and some Republicans in the House are voting on, saying, don't put any of the victims' names or any of their personal information out there, but you can still release the information. So does that make sense to you?
That is the information, is the sexual crude acts, or that's all in the files.
Sir, sir, are you saying, no, do you understand? Do you not understand that files can be released without giving out victims' personal information?
Yeah,
you can call people different names. You can call people Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard for you to understand? The FBI does that all the time.
So you want child pornographic images
Okay.
released
First
and
of all, so obviously this guy is very stupid, but that's okay. I'll be nice and you can stay on the line. Where have I said, and where has any prominent Democrat said that they want pornographic images out? Did you not listen to what I just said? Hey, you got to be quiet, buddy, okay? And listen, because you're not listening. Get the MAGA wax out of your ears. What I'm trying to tell you, and you don't seem to understand or grasp understanding of what I'm saying, is when it comes to information of a graphic nature, or when it comes to information that could release any identifying of the victims, they can redact that information. That is what the Democrats are actually saying, sir. And what you're doing is you're making excuses for somebody like the orange orangutan rapist, who clearly, I can tell by your stupidity, you voted for. You redact names. For example, in child sex rape cases in the courtroom, they don't release specific names, and the media doesn't release names to protect the victims. You can release information on what the perpetrator or the person who committed the horrible act did without giving out personal information or showing images publicly. Why is it that you're not smart enough to understand that, sir? Can you please help me understand? Because
You're an idiot.
You're calling me an idiot. Okay, that's fine. Why am I an idiot? What did I say that would? What did I say that's factually inaccurate?
Identity is going to be released. They're going to find out either, the internet, they're going to find the victim.
Internet. So I'm the idiot, and you're claiming that all the names in the Epstein files and all the victims would be out, quote, on the internet. If Pam Bondi decided to redact, why don't you listen and stop interrupting? If Pam Bondi decided to take the names out, and the attorney general and others in the administration or any administration redacted the names, I'm wondering, how would it get out on social media?
There would still be places, people, and things.
What places? What places? How would they get it? If all the information when it comes to victims was redacted, okay? I don't even know if you know what that word means.
There would be no information.
Okay, first of all, why are you yelling? Well, are you a lunatic? Why don't you calm down?
Because you're saying all the information
Okay,
is
sir,
redacted, then what
sir,
information is
sir,
there?
get your Trump pantyhose out of the bind you're in and calm down, okay? Get the MAGA wax out of your ears. I need you to relax, okay? Take a Trump blue pill so you can pleasure yourself to his poster at night before you go to sleep and relax and get the white anger out of your body and pay attention to what I am saying, okay? The files could be released without giving out the names of the victims or any pornographic material. But I do find it interesting that you don't call into the show. You seem to care so much about the victims' names being released, which, by the way, they wouldn't. But you don't seem to have any concern of the fact that the orange orangutan that you voted for, clearly, because you're an ignoramus, that the guy who went into teenage locker rooms bragging sexually about looking at teenage girls naked, who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, who was on the Epstein flight log 6 times. You don't want to talk about any of that stuff. But I'm the idiot because you're claiming that if they release the files without giving out any names or pertinent information on the victims, that somehow it would, quote, get out on the internet. Sir, you're an idiot. You're the idiot, and everybody listening to this conversation knows who the real idiot is. You know what? Maybe you're a pedophile. Have you ever abused a child, sir? Do you wear a Klan hat?
Yeah, what do you got to say about
exactly.
you
I think you're a pedophile. That's what I think. You're a pedophile. You're a clown. You probably wear your Klan outfit before you go to sleep. I'm sorry, Z. This is what I have to deal with every day. Okay, Grand Wizard, have a nice day. It'll get out on the internet, so that's why we can't release the files. Meanwhile, this is the same imbecile.
There are child rape cases all the time, and they don't get doxxed.
Right.
Like, it's
obviously that's someone who's not very intelligent, but we get that from our special MAGA supporters who call into the show every day. Let's go to Brett. Brett is next on PTL. What's up, Brett?
I just had a simple request for you. I would like you to stop using the word orange orangutan to describe taco tumor. Orangutans are sweet, gentle creatures whose habitat is being destroyed by the greed of corporations.
Brett, that's fair criticism. That's fair criticism. I'll take that criticism, and I think that's very fair.
Or you could call them Tang Poo.
That's fair.
Animal rights.
All right. Well, listen, I have some other names. Cheeto Jesus. Is that okay with you?
I like that one.
That's
Cheeto
good?
Messiah.
Okay. Fair enough. The orange Messiah.
Oh.
Okay. I will take that. I do like going to the zoo, and orangutans are beautiful animals. I will agree with you on that. All I'm simply saying, sir, and I think you know this, when he puts on all that makeup, he kind of looks like an orangutan. That's all. All respect, all due respect to orangutans, okay? I agree with what you just said. They're beautiful animals, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. That's fair. See, sometimes when people criticize me, it's very fair. That's a very fair criticism. It's not fair to orangutans. I apologize to any of the orangutans out there that are listening to the show, even though I do think Donald Trump is the son of an orangutan. 702-221-7283. Julie's, or I should say Z's like, God, what kind of show did I get myself into here? Let's go to Julie. Julie's next. What's up, Julie?
Hey, Brian, and your special guest.
Yes.
Hi.
I wanted to ask if you'd come to Nashville.
Oh, yeah, we would love to. I mean, we do know for sure Charlie's going to be in the swing states in the fall. So I'm very hopeful that we also make it out to Tennessee. I know Tennessee isn't technically a swing state.
Isn't there where that scumbag Jason Aldean lives? You know that song?
Oh, yeah. Let's try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. What a scumbag that guy is. What a douche. Can I tell you something about Jason? So we had this horrible shooting in Las Vegas, the October 1 shooting. As you know, you live close to here.
Mm-hmm.
And this scumbag, because that's what he is, I don't blame him for what took place. He dodges town. He doesn't hold a charity concert. Doesn't really do much of anything to help the victims. And then every single time he comes back to Vegas, he just makes money and has another show. What a piece of human garbage Jason Aldean is.
Yeah.
Try that in a small town. Get the hell out of this town.
Yeah.
Trash. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are you going to come to Nashville one day?
What's that?
I said, Brian, are you going to come to Nashville one day?
If they
'Cause I'd like
invite
to
me,
see
I would.
you.
If they invite me, okay, I'll say this publicly on the air. If they would like to invite me to any of their events with Destiny and my man, what's his name, Robbie, the Roadsteamer. I will gladly do it, and I will gladly do some video and get content for everybody. And this is what I live for, so I would gladly do that. Yes.
Well, definitely will. And if you're in like any neighboring states too, because Tennessee's surrounded by a lot of states, so I'm sure Charlie's going to be in. Please come out and see us. We'd love the support.
And I would love to have a run-in with Charlie Kirk and tell him what a good-looking, handsome young man he is, and how he's so good for minorities in this country, and he's not misogynist at all. Yeah, I would love to say that.
He only debates 18-years, so I don't know if you got a chance.
He probably likes 18-year-olds too.
Yep.
Probably on the Epstein list as well. Anyway, thank you for the call, my dear. I appreciate you. Nashville's awesome, though. They have great food out there, great music. I want to see the Elvis castle over there. I want to see, what do they call it? The Elvis house?
Yeah, what is that house?
Graceland. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I don't know. Anyway, 702-221-7283. Lucky Dragon has a joke he would like to share with us. Hello, Lucky Dragon. What's going on? Luck Dragon. I'm sorry. Did I say Lucky Dragon? I'm sorry. Luck Dragon.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I forgive you, Brian.
All right.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Look, I had a joke, but I was on hold for a long time. Now I just want to make a point.
Sure.
It's like,
you could do both.
We are punishing people for picking fruit off the tree. All right. Swallow that for your weekend. We are punishing people for picking fruit off a tree. God bless you guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying and talking about what these ICE agents are doing, particularly all over the country, but in California. And MAGA Republicans seem to be okay with sending nonviolent criminals, many of whom happen to be brown people. Not a coincidence. And some are being sent to high maximum security prisons, some not even in their home country where they were born. And that gentleman is right.
Yeah.
For doing nothing but picking fruit off of trees, so that us as Americans, as privileged Americans, because I feel privileged being born in this country.
Yeah.
And so our vegetables and our fruit in our supermarkets could be cheaper.
Yeah, that's true. And we're sending 15-year-olds to Alligator Alcatraz. So
that's another thing too. Like, most of the people that are at Alligator Alcatraz, Z, are not violent criminals.
No, they're not. Yeah.
And they're being treated. You know what? The pedophiles that are on the Epstein file list or whatever it is, let them go to that place.
Yeah, they never would.
Yeah. Non-violent criminals and moms and dads that have lived in this country for decades that have never been convicted of a violent crime in their life.
Yeah. And yet 60% of Hispanics voted for Trump, right? Like, many of whom are immigrants. It's doesn't make sense to me.
I don't understand why they voted for Trump. I don't understand how any woman could vote for Donald Trump after the way he's treated women his entire life. I say the same thing about service members, suckers and losers.
Yeah.
I don't respect John McCain because he was captured. If you're a service member, current or former, why would you vote for this guy? Like, he dodged the military multiple times. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, listen, I get why some of the richest people in the world vote for Donald Trump, because they're selfish bastards.
Yeah.
People like Mark Cuban are obviously the exception to it, but at least you know why they did it. They voted for him because they're selfish idiots and they want to save money on their taxes, and they're billionaires and they don't care about anybody else. But at least we know why they voted for Trump. Why would these people vote against their self-interest? Like,
they think they're going to be billionaires. That's the only thing I could think of, which is just never going to happen. So
I just don't understand it. Like, over 15 million people are going to lose their Medicaid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they not understand that?
All the narrative around TikTok on this, at least on the right side, is that, oh, well, there's no problem with them working 20 hours a week. And it's like, why is that? Like, why are you more angry at that person than you are at somebody like Jeff Bezos, who doesn't pay any taxes at all?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Let's give the biggest tax breaks to people like Jeff Bezos so he could have another $50 million wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It really is insane. I want to give you the opportunity now, because we only have a few more minutes. I want to give you the opportunity. How can people donate to your organization? Give a little bit of background here. We got a couple more minutes, and how people can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, donating and getting involved are equally important. So if you are a volunteer out there that's listening to this and you have a specialty that you can bring to the table for us, please sign up on our website. It's UNF America Tour. It is the full word, UNFAmericaTour.com. We're on all social media platforms, so we post content every day. Our plan is that we're going to be doing a fall tour. So anywhere that Charlie Kirk is in the fall, if we raise enough money, we will be there.
Maybe you'll see Brian Shapiro at one of these places.
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
And then the biggest event that's going to happen in December is America Fest. Now, this is like Turning Point USA's Super Bowl of the year. Trump is going to be there. everybody's going to be there. So we are planning on doing the same thing we just did. We're going to rent a bar across the street from the Turning Point event. We're going to pull the Turning Point kids in. We would love for you guys to come. Anybody that's listening, we'll have tickets available on our website at the end of next week. And they're affordable, and come and drink, debate
When
us.
is that?
That's going to be for us. Well, the actual event for Charlie is December, I think 17th through the 21st. And then for us, we're going to be there on December 20th.
If you want me to be there, I'll be there.
Please. It's in Phoenix.
I'll do it.
It's like right there.
I'll do it. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I'd love to be a part of it. I'd love to have my picture right next to Robbie Roadsteamer on your website.
On the website?
Yeah, I would like that
Yeah.
picture. I would like that picture there. You can add me to that list. I give you permission.
Oh,
So
yeah, we will.
I would totally do that. Well, the great thing about, what we do here, and you got a little taste of it, we do get MAGA callers from time to time, but we get people from all over the country and all over the world calling into the show every day.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
very honored by that. And we have a lot of diversity in our listenership, which I think is great too. And I know there's a lot of people in the chat that love what you guys are doing. I certainly love what you're doing. I think you need to keep up the great work. I'd love to be a part of what you're doing. We need some people to combat the Charlie Kirks of the world.
Yeah.
We need people that are going to be a little bit more aggressive. Doesn't mean, I'm condoning any sort of, violent behavior, which I'm not. But verbally, you need to confront these people and you need to challenge them and make them out and show how stupid these people are and how hateful they are. And you're right. There's a lot of college people out there that maybe don't follow the issues as much as they should. And when they hear some stuff from Charlie Kirk, they get brainwashed by
Yeah.
it.
And Destiny is a great person for that, because I think that Destiny is really the only person on the left right now that's really bringing people over from the MAGA side.
Mhm.
We need more of that. So please come out to our event. Please donate. Please support the other organizations I mentioned too. It's so important. Like, if you are a person that donates to the DNC, please put pressure on them. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But there are other organizations
Mhm.
and other candidates that need support right now as well.
Absolutely. Speaking of support, this is an independently run radio show. I am my own boss. So please, thank you to everybody in the YouTube Super Chat, but also check out the website, pushingthelimits.live, where we sell PTL merchandise. I get pictures from people that are wearing their gear. If you send me a picture, I'll post it on social media. Pushingthelimits.live. We also accept donations. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever you can afford, $5, $10, $20 a month. You see the website right there at the bottom of the screen, and we certainly appreciate that. On Monday, we have Aaron Rupert, who is a great journalist and a huge social media platform, going to be joining us. And from Midas Touch, Ron Filipkowski is going to be joining us. We also have Anthony Scaramucci that is going to be joining us next week. We're working on trying to get a day that David Packman could be joining us on the program next week as well. And there'll be plenty of other special guests. We had some good ones this week. Adam Mockler joined us. Actor Jeremy London was on the show. Filipowski joined us on the show this week. And, we always work hard to get good guests. Z, I really appreciate you driving out here and coming in studio. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I hope we can do it again sometime.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I so appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll do it again and hopefully be a part of your organization. And I love what you guys are doing. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday. I'm going to be going out having a good time. I might be seeing Lady Gaga tomorrow with a lovely lady. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I don't want to make any of you jealous, but anyway, have a good weekend, everybody. All seriousness. We'll see you on Monday, same time, same place.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip.